Nani. What up, y'all? Just shot you with some imaginary peace bullets right now. They're undodgeable. So just let this wave of peace hit you real quick. You get me? Regardless, welcome to another weekly live astrology horoscope. My throat chakra is getting ahead of me right now. What's up, y'all in the live chat? I see y'all. I see y'all. How about we turn up some love real quick? How y'all doing? I hope you still believing in yourselves because we got a couple shifts this week that are going to change your mind about a whole lot. Okay. How did y'all everyone in the live chat, I want you to comment 2 words to describe that moon opposite Pluto transit last night. How many of y'all felt that intensity? I'm 14 years old again, by the way. I decided to cut it all off. And yeah, what are 2 words to describe the very, very intense opposition last night? I want to set some under the Mystic Moon said real deep. We have down and sad, hella shadow. Oh my God, yo. I want to say deep transmutation. Oh, I felt that one. Yeah. No sleep. Yeah, I was up. No filter. I had a good night last night, by the way. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it was intense. Psychic deaths for sure. Really tired. Did some of you all feel like you were just dragging your body? I say some of you because others of you have prominent fire, right? But oh my gosh, did some of you just feel like your body just didn't even want to move anywhere? Just like, or there was just like this very dark, strong presence that was just eviscerating everything you feel and making it more intense. Dead weight. There we go. Okay, shout out to Brooke who had an amazing night. That's what it do. That's what it is. I didn't even get out of bed yesterday. That's a wise one right there. I feel you. So yeah. Oh, shout out to Egyptian Pearl who talked to their dead brother. That's some G shit right there. Pluto definitely helps service that for sure. So, I just kind of want to remind you guys because gears are shifting right now. Like we're in Taurus season right now. Chiron's in Aries, and very soon Venus is going to be in Gemini. Yeah. If you have a Venus in Gemini, don't let these people call you hoes. Okay. I see they be throwing Venus in Gemini under the bus. Like all Venus in Geminis can't be faithful or something, or all Venus in Geminis, they're very inconsistent. First of all, I'm a Venus in Taurus, so I'm not being biased here, even though I'm a Gemini. But second of all, only reason why Venus in Gemini has to talk to multiple people is some of you are dumb. Some people, they just can't think as quickly as a Venus in Gemini. You think a Mars or Venus in Gemini is trying to wait for your slow ass when they could talk to 5 people and get all the mental stimulation that they need. Okay? You think Venus and Mars and Gemini are all caught up over having sex with so many people. They don't even really like sex like that. They don't even really like sex like that. If you get like some kind of joint and a philosophy or poet book, you have a Venus or Mars or Gemini. You just start stimulating their mind. All right. It's a whole different story. So your mind personally is about to connect with your heart and, give you very profound revelations. It's soap opera drama because if you remember the last time that Venus was in Leo, was it Mercury in Gemini or was it Venus in Gemini, Mercury in Leo? I'm going to say it was the first. Once Venus went into Leo, or I really think it was Gemini, we had that week of drama. Do you guys remember when I had kind of preluded to this last year, and then you saw certain media personalities kind of get into it over uh, their relationship and kind of airing it out. Well, the drama continues, my friends, and for someone who is a lot of air and fire, this is going to be the type of drama that gets you on. Okay. So I want you to study. I have homework for all of you. Okay. Your homework for this week is to peruse on the Instagram application, on the social media platforms that you can gain off of Apple or off of Android or on the internet, because internet browsers allow you to peruse on Instagram. Okay. And in this Insta of Gram, your homework is to study the profile of Woe Vicky. It's called I Woe Vicky. Okay. I want you to actually look at her posts objectively and then read the comments to those posts. And I will give you a hint. She is a Pisces. Okay. In order to really get through a Venus and Gemini transit that's going to be squaring Neptune and Pisces, you have to be able to understand people like her, okay, who can present a certain reality and get all sorts of people in their feelings. All right. This is master trollery at its finest. And you don't ever see trolling like this, because usually you'll see trolling like this, but it's never as consistent. Okay. You don't have to see her whole page. Just study like 6 posts, and I want you to take away something from that. That's your homework for this week. You don't necessarily have to, you know what I'm saying, follow her, but I want you to see at least 6 posts and see how you can apply that attitude to your everyday life this week, especially if behavior like that makes you cringe deep in your stomach, like you just ate a half-warm Chipotle burrito and you know damn well you shouldn't have eaten it, but now you already ate it and it's too late to uneat it, and you know you're going to throw up because it's just so disgusting. Then you should definitely make sure you do something to like exercise that type of attitude just for at least once in a week. See, some of you really need to troll more, okay? And I'm definitely going to be giving you more unconventional advice, because if we were going through like normal, regular transits, then I can give you normal, regular advice. If we were going through, a regular Chiron and Aries transit where we're just kind of coming and transmuting our masculine identities, whether you're a man or a woman, masculine identity, meaning the very expressive and passionate way that you express yourself instead of the feminine receptive way you allow experience to show you, right? If it was just a regular transit like this, I really could advise for you to reach out to other people. I really could advise for you to get out your comfort zone and let's really get a bonfire and let's sing and let's dance. You know what I mean? And we can have a jolly old time. Yeah, just with me and you, we can change the world. That's what it's gonna do. Look at me in my eyes. I'll do this in person, in real life, and behind the camera. But you know what I'm saying? We have Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn, and this is real life. So you go out here doing that kumbaya stuff, and you'll run into people who are like, move, bitch, get out the way, get out the way, bitch, get out the way, move, bitch. Or they'll probably like shoot you and then laugh at you. So just keep that in mind. You really want to have discernment here. You could be in this world, but not of it. And we need to reevaluate certain tactics. All right. Let us go back in time to last year because for those of you who joined me on this journey last year, I had a small, limited amount of time to kind of shape up and help guide you all along the right direction to reclaim your identity. Because now that Saturn is in Capricorn now, and we're back into our season, the mission, should you choose to accept, is to reclaim your sovereignty. And this is the whole purpose of the Divine RPG, where Scorpios are having to be revolutionaries, Capricorns are having to defend their legacy, and Sagittariuses are having to find people to ascend out this matrix with. Oh, for real. Okay. And this is really allowing people more than ever to know where they stand on certain issues. It is a week like this where you can end a relationship of 32 years with someone you've known your whole life just because you disagree over a personal, heartfelt belief. Okay. It could be as irrational as, what? You don't like jelly on your peanut butter sandwich? And then you find out this motherfucker puts asparagus and carrots on their peanut butter, and you just can't be their friend anymore. Okay. But that's more reasonable stuff, all right? You ever just stop being someone's friend because the way they eat their food is just really, it shows they don't respect their taste buds, and now you just can't associate with them because you might take them out and then they start putting whipped cream on their lasagna. I'm not gonna lie, that would probably taste good. See, I can't do that joke because I'm usually the weird dude who will put ketchup on eggs or rice just cause. So I try to do that joke, it didn't work. But anyway, you know what I mean? Don't you hate people who always like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Usually it means you don't know what I mean. But yes, we are reclaiming sovereignty this time around. And last year, Taurus season, we definitely had to remind ourselves of our value. If you remember, I did say make sure you boss up, because some people feel like they can be in your presence, but they don't feel like they have to respect your presence. Some people have been entitled their whole life, so they may not even really know if they are even disrespecting somebody. And it's when you boss up and reclaim your boundaries that you let people know, hey, I don't like the way I'm being respected. Yeah, you might think with your little posse and with your exclusive group that I'm A, B, and C, but don't care. And if you're not going to respect me, then you can get out my life. Okay. We're taking it a step higher. This is reclaim your sovereignty now. So the whole battle with this Capricorn Aries was to classify you. What you left Aries season with is going to determine the rest of this cycle. If you ended Aries season truly believing in yourself, it may have come at a cost, because the way this Capricorn energy wants to condition your consciousness within you and established as a society is you expressing your radical self. It does not come into terms with what is traditionally successful. And how can I make this real? For a lot of you walking this spiritual path, you're experiencing this every day. There are a lot of people who don't feel your success is valid. There are a lot of people who don't feel your success is real success because you are in the future. You are tapping into this Uranian Neptunian vibe where they may be still caught up on these Saturnian vibes, traditional or conservative. There are certain people that will never acknowledge your success no matter. And if you're waiting for them to acknowledge your success, you're literally blocking yourself from more success. So let me explain this, especially some of you who have revolutionized certain economies or fields. You're at a level that, and the analogy I use is like someone who discovers virtual reality or a greater internet, and they're telling like old geezers who don't even care about technology, or young hipsters who aren't smart enough to understand how to program. They're not going to understand. They're going to be like, oh, you're just a nerd who is on the computer. Okay, so the first part of this is you were dealing with people who may not acknowledge your career goals, who may not acknowledge your dreams, who may not acknowledge your success that you've already had, which is an integral part of society, where we have ceremonies and we have celebrations. Well, society is splitting. People are literally dividing themselves at a greater rate as people are finding themselves more than ever. And with Saturn and Capricorn, people are allowed or being given the chance through challenge to regain their sovereignty. Okay. And some people fell for the trap. Okay. Some people fell for the trap of the old paradigm, and others broke through and walked their soul path of their new future life. What I mean by this, once again, especially if you have like Pluto and Scorpio and Sagittarius, a lot of you are doing things that haven't been done before. A lot of you are being things that are not conventional. So you have people in an effort, because they're in denial, by the way, because they're in denial, they're going to project their denial on you and make you feel like because you do not fit in their box and world, obviously you're the problem. Everything you do is unnatural. It's not like we usually do things. It's nothing that we want to accept. And therefore, your success is invalid. Your success is not something that we're going to acknowledge. Now, this challenge is simultaneously a blessing because, first of all, rejection is spirit's protection. Second of all, what on the surface seems like an establishment that is dictating what's hot or not is actually all a facade. That's the whole lesson of this Saturn in Capricorn. By the time Saturn is in Aquarius, a lot of who you guys thought really called the shots in this world, you're really going to see they're phony, they're pulling strings. They don't have nearly as much power as you think they do. They did, but their power is literally being redistributed. And they're putting a stoic face for the people, but inside they're going crazy. You can see it in their art. You could see it in their executive decisions, no matter how much they try and hide it. And anyone who knows an astrology chart can see through it like this. So what's the whole point? The whole point is for you to be individual, because by the time that happens, everyone who walked the lone path of still being themselves, even though everyone else threw them under the bus, even though it's not publicly recognized, when that false structure falls, it's the people who are real who are going to be the only ones able to do anything. Because whereas everyone else was literally begging and seeking validation, all of you built your inner peace, all of you built your inner strength, all of you created structures that can sustain yourself and sovereignty. So now you're in a position to build others up. The whole model behind this is totally different. We're leaving the old model where you have to manipulate functions, inputs, and variables within a system and use people and not things in order to get successful. All of this is being exposed. That's why an entertainer like Will Smith is able to succeed very amazingly with this, because dude is inherently transparent and he already has a full career, right? So people like that are going to shine. Other people who use it to take advantage, they're losing their shit. So keep that in mind, because you're not really going to tap into this type of victory until October. All this is about to climax. And for those of you who made the sacrifice of fitting in order to be yourself, you have already won. The rest of the way is just about not giving up, no matter how difficult it may be. Because this go around, well, now that we're in Taurus season, is more than just about bossing up. And you're in a position where you have to know your worth to the point where who do you even allow in your space? Where you know that the punishment for anybody not respecting who you are is that they don't get a second of your time. And you don't inadvertently want to let old insecurities reverse this, because some of you, if not all of you, had to. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, you had to directly face your insecurities and live it out, experience it. Now that it's to the surface, you can do what you're supposed to do for you. And what I mean by this is, who and what is it are you going to do that will define your own sense of worth and your own sense of luxury? This is going to be really great because Uranus will eventually be in the sign. And this is definitely going to allow many of you the onus to step into a greater financial abundance, regardless of who you are. Is that the being said, okay, I have to say it slow like this because there's a lot happening. And if we think about what's connecting, know that everything happens for a reason. And when frequencies are tuned out like this, everyone that's a part of this right now is not here for no reason. Okay. Before like this channel and my brand gets more popular and they try and call me a cult leader, right? And they try and crack down and say that I'm some pseudoscientist, okay? Enjoy this wave of spirituality while it lasts, because you're going to see a lot more card readers. You're going to see a lot more astrologers. You're going to see a lot more spiritualists. And that's just the nature of life. I don't even want to act act like it's a bad thing, because at least if there's more access to people doing this, it is what it is. But the thing about this path is, yeah, you can make a lot of money doing it, but it's nothing you can fake. Inevitably, and this is what the next 2 years are about, this is the difficulty of walking a path like this. And anyone who really just is in like there are lots of people who walk this path sincerely. It's not like there's some people who do it to finesse people, because the once again, a spiritual path such as this is so vague. I can call it a spiritual path, which can encompass anything, really, if you think about it, which is simultaneously a good thing. People will make it sound like it's a bad thing. That's actually a merit. But the thing that's bad about it is medicine is regulated. You have to take an exam to be a licensed physician, or you'll be like Dr. Love and they'll take you away to jail. All right. You have to take a bar exam to be a lawyer. You have to take an exam, all right, to be a professional in many acknowledged professions. The whole politics behind economy, business, and employment is transforming to where new jobs are coming up. I can create an app to where Magic Mike will be in the LA area for a few weeks. And if you want to cuddle with me for a certain rate, we can do some Reiki healing. And you know what I'm saying? We can do some things. This is going to create new concerns. This is going to create, perhaps through challenges, new questions, right? And the issue of certification in a field like this is definitely very gray, because you don't necessarily need a certification, or you don't necessarily need to take an exam to be a professional astrologer, or to be a professional psychic, or to be a love doctor. And as such, it's only normal that in an environment like that, you're going to have a lot of people who are fraud. Listen very carefully at what I'm saying, because right now you're walking this path, but I'm preparing you for war. All right. Call this a prophecy or whatever. But if you, like, a lot of you might be aware that there's false spiritualists and there's false prophets. There's always been false prophets. But we're stepping into a time where there's about to be quintessential false prophets. That's why I will always say, every day, hold me accountable. If I ever really do anything that you don't agree with, we're probably not going to see eye to eye, but at least hold me to it. Don't ever be afraid to call me out on any bullshit I do. And whenever I'm not speaking the truth, tell me, call me out. It's not going to be possible for everything I say to agree with everybody. So there's just going to be things we disagree with. But I'm not going to be that person that's like, everything I say is gospel truth, and if you don't believe it, screw you. All right. If people comment things that are lies, I won't really entertain it. But if it's the truth and it's honest, even if I don't agree with it, I respect honesty, and that it is what it is. So really keep in mind, there are going to be a lot more false leaders, false spiritualists that rise up. And what makes someone false is not at all the quality of their knowledge. It's not the reason why. It's not that they won't be skilled. Don't judge someone, of course, for just their skill, but for the integrity of how they use the skill. So if you're too busy looking for scandals, you could really miss, that you're being deceived right under your nose. And when I say that I'm preparing you for war, once again, everything with how they paint the picture of a field like this is super deceptive. And really will pay a lot to study up logical fallacies. Study up the different type of logical fallacies. You're going to encounter a lot of red herrings. You're going to encounter a lot of straw men, okay? Once again, when I say that this is inherently deceptive, the way I will explain this is very crazy because I don't want to use sound, coherent, logical arguments to prove this point. Otherwise, that would defeat my purpose. I don't want to talk to you and say how people are using propaganda and deceptive language to mislead people from this path, to make it uncool, to cast people in movies who are psychics as crazy, all right, to only put a microscopic glass on frauds. It's all propaganda. I'd rather say they're quantum space lords that are fighting light workers, all right? First of all, I don't care what anyone says, too. I'm a light worker. This is what I mean when I say they're trends. Like, I'm not just a light worker. There are other things I do, but there was a point where people threw light workers under the bus and they pointed out the negatives of light working and then plastered that over as the face of it. And it's really just a divisive tactic. This is what I mean when I say there are going to be a lot more agents and spies that infiltrate the community. Think about how much information is saturated to the point where if anyone wanted to know Venus through the signs, they could look up in Google, and anyone who's at least kind of smart can get a working knowledge of basic astrology within a week. Like if you can't get basic astrology within 2 weeks, you're kind of dumb. No offense. That's how easy it is. So when it comes to being able to speak the language, you're going to have a lot of people infiltrate just so they can see what this life is all about. And it's a transit like Saturn and Capricorn that, and especially Pluto in retrograde right now, that's going to reveal who is really anointed, who is really chosen to walk this path, or who is forcing themselves to walk this path because they feel like they have to. And there's a lot of people who are very sincere, Neptunes and Pisces, there's a lot of people who are very sincere, supposedly, and feel like they really want to walk this path and they're going to get a reality check, okay? When something happens and they stop making any money and it's no longer beneficial and they start losing friends because they believe in this, that's going to show whether they still do it or whether they look on to the next thing. That's going to be a lot of people, y'all. That's going to be a lot of people. A lot of people that you see doing this right here, they're not going to be doing it in a year or two. And I'm not even talking about just astrology. This applies to every field. Capricorn is going to separate those who work hard no matter what, and those who just try things. Do you try or do you do? And that's really like the question here. And I have to say it like this once again because I would rather set the narrative that it's a conspiracy and an outright spiritual war to blind people from authentic spiritualists, because everything about the narrative being weaved is inherently deceptive. You have people who know better using fallacious arguments to point out other fallacious arguments. For example, in a field like this that's not heavily regulated, you're going to have a lot of frauds. There are a lot of people who do readings knowing they can just do cold readings. That's why I'm proud of my Facebook page. Like if you go on my reviews, you'll see authentic, real testimonials from real people. I used to do the set your price per minute call networks, and it was fascinating. You have people who don't give psychic readings. They just do cold readings. They say vague ambiguities to where it can kind of make you feel like they know what you're talking about. As a Venus in Taurus, I speak vague like that too. And it's something that I try and work on, but I make up for it with predictions that come true and with pure truth. It's why you guys still subscribe. But back then, which I read before I even became a reader, like I had studied up cold reading and how people do this when I was researching or learning how to be a magician. And instead of like magic, the magician performance came up. And these are tricks that mentalists employ, right? To where people can just, it's not really just that people can say vague cold readings, but they're psychics that make full-time livings giving bunk readings. Like all they do is listen to you on the phone and they just agree with everything you're saying. And then they say vague things like this will happen, this might happen, you know what I'm saying? And it's just to really kind of sell you on hope. And if you read the testimonials, if you read people who, you know what I mean, like write comments are like, oh my God, this reading was so good. Oh my God, this reading was so good. And it's not even that some of them don't even have psychic power. It's just that they bullshit for most of the reading. So yes, if you look at that and you focus on just that and you tear down the frauds without realizing there's no sort of like regulation, of course, to anyone who's not in this industry, for anyone who doesn't really know, it's going to be a compelling argument until you realize it's just weaving lies that's totally meant to completely strip down and delegitimize the authentic psychic, which exists in everyone. You don't need a career to be a psychic. Everyone is psychic. Some people just utilize that in parts of their counseling. So once again, a whole lot of outside, because it's not just, I'm talking about this industry because I'm experiencing it, how I'm living it, to where certain people don't like my success because they've worked and spent a lot of money on student loans. They've worked to get a degree professionally, and I chose to believe in myself and do my own thing, which they were told wouldn't work, which I was told wouldn't work, and now it's working, and now they're in denial. Put yourself in my shoes, because a lot of you are going through this. When you get shade from people, when you get disapproval from people, they're not mad at you, they're mad at themselves. Remember that. They're seeing you achieve something that they wanted to, but made themselves believe they couldn't. So now they have to be in denial. And as you keep succeeding, they have to tell themselves, oh, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Even though you out here stunning on people. So that's what I'm saying. If you're going to rely on recognition from people like that, you're blocking yourself from more success, because the whole bounds of what constitutes recognition right now as we speak is changing. And we're not going to see how much it has changed until Saturn's in Aquarius. We're going through it right now. If you're focused on old models of buying followers, do you know some losers still like buy followers on their videos, or subscribers for their videos, or views for their videos? You know what I mean? Like if you're still focused on making things look successful without being successful, you're only playing yourself. Something that you would think people have gotten right now, but they're gonna go right back to doing it, because once again, not everyone has done the soul work like you may think they have done. There are only people who have looked like they've done the soul work. There's some people who really don't know. And now that we're claiming our sovereignty, you are going to be in a position to help those people. We do these ceremonies, we send out healing energy. You're also on the front lines. And like Ascension Diary said, redistribution of wealth is here. Let me tell you what the new currency is. Uranus is going into Taurus. So the new currency, my friends, is a good ass aura. You can have all the money in the bank. You can brag like a good aura and an intelligent mind in the age of Aquarius. You won't need $500,000 in the bank. Your energy alone is worth millions. And I really mean that. If you think about how you can produce that in this day and age, back then you couldn't really monetize a very brilliant mind. Well, you could. Now you can more than ever. So keep this in mind. Like, there are people who are still really dumb. There are people who they're very ignorant and they don't know how ignorant they come across, to where you get in an argument with them and all of a sudden it devolves around, well, I have more money than you, and oh, what I do is better than what you do, so you have no say. And it could be so, you could literally be having an argument about walking the dog, and it's like, you're like, oh, well, I don't want to walk the dog. And then someone else is like, you have to walk the dog. And it's like, I'm not going to walk the dog. And it's like, well, and then it just goes left. You're like, oh, well, I have more money. That's why I have more money. That's what I do. And it's like, you don't understand. Like, it's sad. It's really sad. It represents the state of humanity. A lot of people do this. It happens at varying levels. You have ignorant people who are like, oh, well, I have $80,000 on my wrist. I have $100,000 around my neck. I have all this money. I don't even have to worry about spending it. And it's there, and people are bragging about fiat currency, paper that's not even real, like stuff that you have to barter, assets that you can't take with you, that you can leave behind, even though they're depreciating, which is great on the surface, but it's so meaningless, it's not even funny. Anyone who has a good aura and is intelligent is not going to brag about material things, even if they have material things. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have material things. I'm saying there's an ineptitude and there's an idiocy to actually brag about your material possessions and let that be a status symbol over someone. It literally shows that you don't know anything. And this is the weird thing. A lot of people do this. A lot of people feel better in themselves because it's like, oh, well, at least I make more money than this person. That literally, like, let me say it since no one else is going to say it. The fact that you can feed families and take care of a bunch of people does not make you special, honey. That doesn't make you special. The ability to provide, the ability to feed other mouths, the ability to actually possess a lot, that's not special at all. That's what you're supposed to do. It's honestly like bragging about brushing your teeth, okay? The ability to be original, the ability to have a pure heart, the ability to be loyal, the ability to actually care, that is important. That actually means something. Remember that. There's a lot of, like, it's super sad. Like, a lot of people are brainwashed. A lot of people are delusional. And not everyone just says I have chains. Some people think they're low key. Oh, well, I have a yacht. The CEO position that I'm in allows me access to very influential people in this community. It's way higher than whatever you do. And because such is the pride and arrogance of man, because they do more and because they reach more, as a personal achievement, that's everything you should be proud of. As a status indicator and something to lord yourself over someone, you're stupid. You're stupid if you really believe that. We have a lot of stupid people where just because of people who they know or just because of who they think they deserve better treatment than others. This is where I say you're going to be in a position where you reclaiming your sovereignty, you can actually be in a position to help these people. Remember, hurt people hurt other people. So I'm not saying this to judge them. I'm saying these are the people that you're going to have to deal with in this walking dead world of people who are spiritually dead, people who don't know who they are. So many people deny themselves on a daily basis. So when they see a unicorn like you actually living their true spiritual life, it intimidates the crap out of them when they walk up to you with their toxicity and you don't do what they do and they don't know how to drag you down to their level. And now it's either they have to do better for themselves or be really constantly in their own self rejection because they're seeing how your integrity is exposing their bullshit. You're about to start dealing with this on a realer level. And for those of you with no integrity, you can let the world basically just like play you, or you can stand firm. And so I must repeat, it's this Taurus season that's going to usher in the fact that you can have all the money in the world. If you have a weak aura, you're trash. You're trash. If you spent more money if you spent more time trying to count dollar bills than you spend time actually taking care of your inner world, then you're not living for yourself. You're living for a false ideal. You're a loser. That's the new loser. A lot of these people who think they're winning, they're actually new losers. Your aura's trash, B. Everywhere you go, you spread toxicity. Like the new wealth is a healthy and powerful aura. And the lie, my friends, is that money can buy you this, as if you can just buy a diet, good friends, and actual sage knowledge. No, it costs you nothing to work on yourself. It costs you nothing to not be an arrogant piece of crap. And it costs you nothing to give a fuck about someone else and be a part of your community. All that shit is free. You don't need a Versace wrist, necklace, or a Benz. You don't need to show this false motivation, letting people play this rat race at all. And those of you who are breaking out of this model are making it hard for people who are trying to enforce it. It's like people are starting to see, I don't have to play this game. And that's what your presence does when you don't play the game. When you take back your sovereignty and create your own attention, okay? So don't have a trash aura. Don't be a trash person. Don't be so focused about making things look good, but the decisions you make and the quality of people you're around are trash. You can try and fool people, but the way you know someone is the quality of people they're around. You can think you're the best person ever. If the quality of people around you are trash, you are trash. You can be the king in your mind, but you're just the king of trash. And that is what it is. But people are so in denial right now that instead of doing the work to actually, change these dark parts of themselves, they'll embrace that part of their denial and they won't work on it. All right. A lot of reasons why you're here where you are is because you worked on that part that you wanted to have denial on, and it was painful. And it was a lot of people didn't make it past Saturn and Scorpio. You made it past Saturn and Scorpio. So now that Jupiter's in Scorpio, don't let people take away what you're being blessed with. Don't let people take your insecurities for them to poke fun at. Embrace that. Don't let people take what they may hate about you and make that something, you know what I'm saying? Take what people hate about you and love that. Unless it's something you feel that you want to change to be better, take what people hate about you and love that about yourself. Okay? Reclaim your sovereignty, because everything counts at this point. You can make revolutionary decisions by what you choose not to entertain. All right. Most of these views, most of these numbers you see, they're all fake. Okay. They're not as real as you think they are. even if they can be momentarily quantified to just whoop up some BS. All right. So keep this in mind, because we will have this Pluto and Aquarius moment where you will deal with you will deal with the full exposure of everything you've ever done. I want you to just imagine far into 2025, 2026, or maybe even 2020, an anonymous hacking organization has been able to pull something similar off like they did in South Park. But South Park is so good at predicting stuff, but it's like somebody basically jugs the whole internet to where everything that you've privately sent is released. And now people know who you are, right? In DMs or private whatever. Okay. And outside of that, this isn't meant to scare you, by the way. This is just meant to let you know, you better walk with integrity. That's the whole that's the whole point of this Capricorn. Like, you better walk with integrity. You don't have to be perfect. You just better walk with integrity. Okay. And these agents that are going to come in are going to have a lot of skill. They're going to have a lot of charisma. All right. When the devil wants to tempt you, they don't send ugly ass little hobgoblins with sticks. You're gonna run the other way. They send the most beautiful man or woman that you just can't lay your eyes off of, right? Venus, the morning star. This is why Venus is the charmer, right? Venus doesn't have much to do with love as much as it has to do with beauty and charming. Why do you think Venus spends time to make up her face and to beautify herself, to charm, to actually get you to open up your heart? Okay. So beware of the deception. And let me tell you the cheat code right here. You know it's going to be deceptive because, yeah, they might say things you like. Yeah, they might do things you want them to do, but their only aim and motive is to get you to deny yourself. Their only aim and motive is to slowly but surely get you away from what you're doing, so you're not on your path, where you reach a certain point in your success and now you're no longer putting as much time into your craft because you're hobnobbing with other famous personalities, or you're not really caring that much about what you do because the people you're around are like, oh, leave that alone. You know, you don't have to do that anymore. You've already proved your point. It's very deceptive. Number three, I don't even know if there's a number three, but or if I said one or two. If you're a mutable sign, if you are a Virgo, and before I even get into that, once again, there's no lie. There's a lot of frauds in this community. There's a lot of frauds. What's going to happen is once Saturn and Pluto are in Aquarius, after what's happening is a lot of standardizations are coming into form now. You're having more physical universities and campuses that teach astrology, that teach holistic medicine, that teach health. Over the course of 10, 20 years, by the time we're in 2025, 2030, after a lot of this has been standardized, you'll start to see more regulation in these communities because social media will have made it so much more easier to be able to tell what's a good reading, what's not. We're having to start a whole community from scratch, get case study, get actual, you know what I'm saying, statistics, things that universities research for medicine, for science. We don't have universities conducting research to take campus students and do controlled experiments to see, all right, based on where someone's midheaven is on their natal chart, what major do they do? All right, this is stuff that like the likes of Jung and other scientists back then did, but their work was not recognized because they faced the propaganda we faced, except they didn't have social media to where they can upload it, and it doesn't matter what the popular opinion thinks. We're finally doing this right now. We're going to make this dream real. We're going to have a lot of, you know what I'm saying, challenge along the way, and I'm trying to let you know, Don't take the challenge seriously. Don't listen to the people challenging you like they actually care. They're agents. They're only concerned with continuing the old paradigm, and they're only concerned with having you deny yourself. And it's that simple. You'll know it because you feel it. Anyone that's concerned will have an open mind and actually genuinely want to know. I'm saying this so you don't waste your energy on people who are just really trying to kind of mess with your spirit. Thank you, Nicola, by the way. So once again, you know what I mean? A lot of the likes of Carl Jung, like Black Moon Lilith said, who was a master of psychology and mysticism, this is coming back. This is very Pluto and Scorpio. It's very scorpionic, right? And a thing about this, yes, there's a lot of skeptics, and yes, there's a lot of frauds, right? But for this message is very much so for the very sincere, authentic spiritualist. Okay, Return of the Muggle. OJC Astrology just said it. This transit is Return of the Muggles, and it's Revenge of the Muggles too. Like, I hate to use the term Muggle. I'd rather use the term uninitiated. Not everyone is initiated into this craft. A lot of people think they can just pick up tarot cards. A lot of people think they can just read the stars. You have to be initiated. You don't have to have some fancy ceremony, but you have to have a special initiate. That's how, since we don't have like certifications, real deal psychics, we have our initiations. All right. And it is what it is. Our work speaks for itself at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. I can go live on television right now and give someone an astrology reading, and it will be accurate. And whether they want to lie on camera talking about it's not, that's their own karma. On live television, I can do what it is. Not everyone can do that because not everyone is really about this craft. So keep that in mind. It doesn't just apply to astrology. This applies to so many other fields. And once again, when I say Revenge of the Muggles or Return of the Uninitiated, you even have some former magicians who are going back into the uninitiated life because they just don't really believe. They just don't, they get caught up in the struggles and wants of this world. So yes, they're skeptics. Yes, there are a lot of frauds, but if someone in the scientific community would not take somebody seriously who believes in the flat earth, like if you were going to say, oh, science isn't real because people believe the earth is flat. Well, no, not a lot of people even feel that in that community that, you know what I'm saying, the earth is flat. A lot of their arguments are biased. And the reason why I'm trying to say I would rather you see this as quantum space lords is because this is such an abstract concept that it forces you not to see this in a logical, quantifiable, understandable way. And you're just kind of reaching with your imagination. Hard to explain, but just for those of you who can't really accept it because you might be a little bit more rational, nothing wrong with that. But just pretend quantum space lords are having invisible vibrational wars to interfere with and get in the way of us walking our light path. It is Revenge of the Uninitiated, and it's the Return of the Muggles. And this is for any of you authentically walking your path. The spiritual attack is going to climax till July. The spiritual attack in the form of the silent treatment you get from society for walking your own path, for not stepping into certain norms, for not participating in certain trends, for having your own individual ideologies. If you do any of the above mentioned and you make yourself look like an asshole because you think you're way too woke to connect with other people in the collective, that's you. But this is not also to discount the authentic people who are also being gaslighted, gang-stalked, unfairly treated, psychically attacked, the whole shebang. Be very wary of people who, when you present them the truth, they never address your claim, they just deflect it. But what about these people? Oh, but what about these people? They don't have any intent to come to an understanding. They are an agent. I'm letting you know how they speak because they're full of shit. So they have nothing of substance to tell you. all they're here to do is to be used by these dark forces to literally just put your third eye to sleep. And I purposely using these trigger words so that people who don't take this seriously, it's kind of like a satire against that. Keep that in mind. So once again, you know what I mean? If you have mutable sign energy, the spiritual war is over you. Okay, if you are a true Virgo who believes in your magic, if you are a true Sagittarius who believes in your magic, if you are or you have your moon or rising, if you have moon, sun, rising, personal planets in Gemini, in Virgo, in Sagittarius, in Pisces, you need to let these fixed signs and especially cardinal signs stop calling you delusional. You cannot believe it. Mutable signs are after fixed and cardinals. If you have this magic energy, you cannot let the cardinal and fixed sign energies make you feel like you're delusional. They do not see mutable sign energy. Fixed signs are more accepting of it because they progress into mutable signs before cardinal signs. I'm going to say this one more time. Cardinal signs are very psychic. They can be very objective. They do not always understand the magic that a mutable sign sees. The reason why mutable signs are inherently inconsistent and left and right is because whereas fixed signs are fixed in one mode and cardinal signs move in one direction, mutable is everything. When you see in this dimension a Gemini switching from back and forth or Pisces going from unconscious to conscious, you're unaware that they're showing you everything at once. The mutable sign energy is showing you this side, that side, that side, that side, because that's what it is. Inherently in nature, you can't just pick one side because that doesn't exist. So a mutable sign is going to feel into all of it at once, and a lot of their magic is not going to be seen. There is a reason why certain people can see magic. Mutable signs are the princesses and the princes of the zodiac. And not everyone has that magical attainment. And thus, not everyone is going to see and sense energy. And as such, that skepticism is going to have you pick up real time on doubt from others. It is up to you to make sure you do not let these people play you, especially cardinal signs. Don't let these cardinal signs play you, mutable signs. Don't let these like you sextile them in some cases for a reason, or you quincunx them. You know what I'm saying? Like you are 3 signs away from cardinal. You're supposed to guide cardinal. For a cardinal sign, there's a reason why mutable signs are their 9th house. We supply them vision. Their issue is sometimes they can try and do things, but with you cannot do anything with mutable. You can do stuff with fixed. You can't do stuff with mutable. And that's the cardinal lesson, to just let things be, as opposed to being too results oriented. This is why someone can call Pisces delusional for just staying somewhere and kind of just going with the flow, when the whole basis behind that is something results oriented, trying to quantify an unseen vibration that's not even meant to be quantified because somebody wants to be a fucking control freak. Don't let these other energies call you delusional. And mutable signs, sometimes the experience of what you're going through is not going to be normal, because normal doesn't exist. This is a lie. Every mutable sign knows this before we have to put on a mask, just so we don't get ostracized. All right. Aquarius doesn't have to put on a mask because they're just distinct. It's actually impossible for them. So I'm just going to say it like it is, because Mercury is going to Venus is going to enter Gemini at the middle of this week. And a lot of how you embrace your truth is just going to spill out from the heart. And if you are a cardinal sign and if you are a fixed sign, this message applies to you as well, because you have, some of you cardinal signs Some of you fixed signs, you have mutable sign moons, or you have mutable sign rising. Some of you are Capricorns with Pisces rising. Some of you are Leos with Virgo moons, and you just don't acknowledge your mutable sign energy. You think something's wrong with you, or you think something's weird, and it's your own being saying, I'm magic, motherfucker, embrace me. Stop living in denial. Embrace your energy. Embrace your magic. Stop having to attract these mutable signs to show you before you inevitably project it on them, because we can only reflect for so long. With mutable signs, we have our BS too. I'm not playing the victim, but the only reason why we have our BS is because we can only reflect for so long. Bear with us here. And to kind of gain understanding, it goes cardinal, fixed, mutable. Okay, cardinal, fixed, mutable. So on top of that, okay, the greater understanding of your experience and perception is also being juxtaposed with this uniqueness birthing within you. And now that we're in Taurus season, a lot of how you stand up for your worth and value will allow you not to tolerate disrespect on a physical and a vibrational level. There are going to be a lot of people who have to work for your respect again. And it's really more so the principle. It's not playing petty games about you not forgiving people, but it's about making people know that the quality of your vibration is not something that is meant to be taken lightly. All right. And now that Pluto is retrograde, if you guys remember every time I do, I'm going to do a Pluto retrograde transit talk, but every time I do Pluto retrograde transit talks, I always bring up the theme of The Walking Dead. Okay. And the Walking Dead analogy is very much so the rise of the Muggles. This is a very real concept. And I don't like to use the term Muggles because it creates a certain classist vibe that kind of makes people who know magic better than people who don't know magic. So I prefer the term uninitiated. Don't let people who are uninitiated into your sacred mysteries knock you off balance, because you're gaining greater foundation. And this really is all about standing firm. The spirit, just like Olivia said in our peace talk, life is spiritual war. That light and dark dances together. And for the first time in a lot of your lives, you have to really kind of accept and embrace that a lot of your own fears actually fear you. A lot of these people who are kind of looking tough, a lot of these people who have to put on a brave face for the world because their brand depends on it, they're actually heavily intimidated by people like you who aren't even really like pressed for any of the recognition, notoriety, or kind of do the things you do for different reasons. Okay, so this is what you're going to inevitably see while Venus slips into Gemini, having you really voice out a lot of your thoughts and let people know what it is. The counterattack begins now, my friends. Taurus season is defense mode, but in this case, the offense we're using is a great defense, where people are going to come at your character, but you already built in an Aries season and you can stand your own. So this is where you're going to build worth, to where people inadvertently backfire their plans by assuming that you don't believe in yourself as much as you do, and they get a rude awakening. And yep, spiritual warfare is real. In the wise words of 50 Cent, get the strap. Okay, I'm slowly kind of having you adopt a semi-militant attitude towards this, because love and peace is not going to solve this. Yeah, love and peace is for after war when we need to repair. I'll still deal peace, but I'm just letting you know, just love and peace is not going to magically fix this. Right now, you have to be in a position to really stand your ground once again. What are your values? And that's the second part of this homework. Write down a list of 5 to 10 values that no matter what happens, you'll still believe. You'll still be a part. Like no matter who you are, you'll always be loyal. Okay. No, for example, no matter who I date, no matter who I'm in a relationship with, a value is I'm faithful, I'm loyal. I don't even care if my partner is cheating on me. I'm not going to cheat back because that's a reflection of my character. Has nothing to do with the other person. Just like if someone else cheats on you, that's not a reflection on you. That's not because you weren't exciting enough. That's not because you didn't do anything well enough. That is 100% a reflection of their character. That means they are incapable of having fidelity and they have issues within themselves that they need to work. Of course, because so many people are in denial, things that you know are wrong, people are trying to make you feel are right. And if you don't believe it's right, you're going to get guilt tripped into having an original idea. And it's up to you whether you want to entertain that or not. The kid gloves are coming off this week, and the crocodile tears people cry, and the fake concern people show are flying right out the window. So, be very, very mindful of the subtle level of this psychological mind fuckery that could be occurring. The last thing I'm going to say before I start pulling the cards is outside of much of this shift, now that, Uranus is 28 degrees, Pluto's retrograde, and the moon's in Leo while Venus is at the tail end of Taurus right now. You really want to embrace what your sense of accomplishment feels like. What is true luxury to you? Is true luxury, you know what I mean, having a penthouse suite with a lot of expensive material? Because if it is, then get that. All right. If that's luxury to you, then focus on that. If luxury is a bit of it all, you know what I mean? If luxury is the peace that you have of being able to, work your own hours and not be and not have a boss, and then work on that. You know what I mean? So this is very pivotal because you're going to be disengaging from an old collective you identified with, and you're about to really manifest these new connections. A lot of this new arc is becoming real. The Aries season part of this arc was to introduce who you are back to the plot. So now we're in Taurus season, and as the conflict creeps up, we're going to really examine what your values are. What is it about who you are that actually gives you strength in moments of difficulty? Other than that, that was really just, things to worry about and watch out for. This is going to be a great week. Once Venus slips into Gemini, y'all, this is going to be great for love. And it's not only going to be great for love, it's going to allow many of you to finally express your heart in a way that you couldn't, because some of your hearts have been so hurt from being betrayed. They've been so hurt from dealing with untrustworthy people that it has literally jaded the general sense of how you even communicate. And the universe is just going to bring relationship potential that perfectly matches with you, just to let you know it's more than possible to connect in this way. So all you have to do is just communicate the truth of your heart. The key here was Venus. And look, there are going to be a lot of people who screw this up. Venus is going to come into Gemini, and a lot of people are going to get more popular, and people are going to try and do that fake stuff where they kind of talk. They kind of try and talk up how cool they are, like, oh, I know this person, this is what I do. And with this Venus in Gemini, you really just need to be talking about, oh, I just had a past life regression, or I just found out that my favorite TV show, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be basic, but it has to be authentic. It has to be original. All right. You won't screw this up if everything you say is what you truly love, because the ideas that you're going to gain will literally open up new experiences. And some of you in a relationship are dealing with this, and some of you who are single are dealing with this. You're having to, for those of you who want to open up to a new partnership, or for those of you who, oh yeah, Dolo's mixtapes help for sure. For those of you who Enter the Dragon, check that out on Dolo Partner. For those of you who really want to be in fruitful relationships, especially romantic relationships, you have to break up with yourself. Some of you some of you still feel you can have a full-time relationship with yourself and someone you're trying to be significant with. Some of you still have to break up with who you are, and some of you it's been the most painful process ever, because subconsciously or consciously you want what you want, but there's a deep subconscious attachment to you, or to like, you know what I mean, who you're with, to where you want someone new, and then potential comes in, but you won't break up the old habits that you do so that you open room for new people. Okay. Really keep that in mind. It's not just a conscious issue. Some of you are doing your best to circumvent this. It's just not easy. So I'm just letting you know that it's supposed to be a little bit challenging, and it's more of a process than it may have to be. But just be prepared to speak your truth when it comes to love. This is Venus in Gemini, not Venus in like Cancer. So don't worry so much about the long-term potential. Have that in mind, but you want to be more mindful about the ideas that you get sparked up with. There are going to be newer ideas that will very greatly, you know what I'm saying, encourage new possibilities. Things that you didn't think you can do in relationships with others will be presented to you. And this is really great to just not, I don't want to say experiment, but experience. All right. And see how you like it. You want to have an open mind, and you definitely want to take advantage of that sextile that Chiron is going to be making to Venus. All right. So, woo, the moon's in Leo, and the square that we start the week off with is wanting to ask you, how much do you want it? How much do you want happiness? How much do you value happiness? Do you really value your life right now? And are you willing to put in your heart into what you're currently doing? Because if not, over the next 2 weeks, you're going to make those changes inevitably, whether you want to or not. Your heart will open towards things, and you'll kind of have to. But if you are, today and tomorrow is going to establish karmic events that open your heart up to new possibilities because of important decisions you've made to stay true to your heart, or to, not. So Venus is going to slip into Gemini the 24th, and we're going to have the square to Virgo, which will instantly make real a lot of ideas that will come into surface at an initial level, once again, just for you to experience. And then, of course, we end the week off with the moon in Libra as Mercury starts to square Saturn retrograde and the sun starts to trine Saturn. Okay. Because we end the week off with this Uranus opposition, be prepared for the radical establishment of crazy relationships out of nowhere, just like that. And the moon that's moving from Leo to the tail end of Libra like this are taking our new feelings, because that Pluto opposition to the moon in Cancer screwed up a whole lot of people last night. And the way they feel, certain feelings might have just died last night too. And now you're about to take that new mode and way of feeling forward towards others, hopefully in ways that are productive, but in ways that will really create a lot of drama. You're definitely also going to note with the initial square that Gemini Venus is going to make to Neptune in Pisces. Any connections you have with soulmate potential being very brought up into the focus. But because it's squaring the feeling and sensation of what your intuition is telling you is going to differentiate starkly from what you see in your real life. And all right, this is a magic secret here. I'm not even allowed to tell you. But the way you actually work with this square, Gemini Pisces squares, if you notice, it's like your mind tries to understand why you keep getting these signs. So the way to take care of this is to speak into existence what Neptune is showing you, so that through your words, you make it so, instead of getting caught up in your head of whether it's real or not, because it never matters if it's real. The Neptune square is just to show and key you into true possibilities. That being said, I'm going to draw the cards for the zodiac signs. I still have personal consultations available soon. We'll have merchandise available. We're going to have some nice t-shirts and also some cool jewelry. All right. Other than that, if you'd like a consultation, you can book a reading on my website and schedule one through the consultations tab, or you can book a reading through Future Life and holla at me there. All right. Also, I have the weekly astrology horoscopes per sign on Future Life right now. I put my heart into those, so check those out. They really dope. And yeah, Aries moon, Aries rising. We have the King of Pentacles. So you're definitely going to just experience powerful financial mastery this week. Definitely focus a lot on where you're taking your material assets, and especially any land you're wanting to own, because higher minded thinking on this financial level will allow you to make boss decisions that will get you way more money. But at the level of King, it's not about getting more money as much as it is just diversifying your portfolio. So be open to a lot of this financial abundance that you'll manifest directly. All right, I see a lot of you as this King of Pentacles, whether you're a man or woman. Taurus moon, Taurus rising. Thank you, under the mystic moon. We have the Two of Cups. So Taurus, this week, a very significant relationship is going to come into fruition and focus. For some of you Tauruses, you're already in this relationship. For other of you Tauruses, this could be someone new that you're going to meet, okay? So it's definitely something to look forward to and to be excited about. Taurus, this is definitely speaking of somebody who definitely has mutual love, and they're going to be able to understand you at a very core place within your heart. Gemini, Gemini moon, Gemini rising. We do have the hangman. So the hangman is going to bring with it a transformation in personality. It literally even comes into this with the star card. So what this means, Gemini, is like this is the week where you kind of sacrifice your lower self to become your higher self. And you're going to really it's very much so an initiation energy as well as a surrender energy. And the hangman is going to facilitate transformation where all you have to do this week is surrender and just let it happen. And try and look at things from a different way because the universe has your back through this, especially with the star. Okay. Cancer, Cancer moon. We have and Cancer rising. We have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is definitely speaking of you being in a position to take out loans, to give loans, to do well on any payments, and overall be a philanthropic source of wealth and just good vibes. Make sure you're in a position to help those who need your assistance. Although make sure if you need help, you ask because you will get it. And the whoever helps you is going to be cool. You won't have to worry about any interest that's exorbitant. Leo, Leo moon, Leo rising. We have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is definitely speaking of you being in a position to very powerfully focus on a different aspect of the work you're doing. And it's a little bit of you going back to the drawing board, but what you've been studying and what you have been working on in the sense of a new financial investment or rebranding is now ready to, in an initial sense, manifest. In this sense, be ready this week to study a bit more on what it is you're working on and be open to very efficient ways to work on your health and your fitness. All right. But honestly, this page for some of you, Leo, will be an actual page who kind of personify everything I just said to help you with. Virgo, Virgo moon, Virgo rising. Similar to Leo, who got the Page of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Swords. So Virgo, for you, there's going to be a young whippersnapper who just very much so sweeps into your life and completely accelerates the motion of things. This is going to allow you to multitask in advance, but you're probably going to have a few arguments with this person because they can think a little bit too fast, and not every conclusion they leap to is the correct one. And yeah, I really feel this could be a Gemini or somebody you'll be working with or experiencing this week that you may even connect with because that is a karmic soulmate for a lot of you Virgos. Usually it's cited that the connection between Mercury links you to, but I don't always attribute Mercury to Virgo. A lot of it will have to do more with Virgo being the fourth house to Gemini. So Virgo understands that vibration, like Gemini understands Pisces to a degree. Libra, Libra moon, Libra rising. We have the moon card. So this week is going to have you engage hidden wisdom from your subconscious repressed voice to help you tap into a subtle sense of hope. As similar to Gemini, we also have the star. So, Gemini and Libra, both of you are actually very similar this week, where the star card is speaking to quantum enlightenment. You're going to come into a very amazing, rejuvenated renewal state. But whereas Gemini is going to have to surrender and release an old way, Libra, you're going to kind of go through a rabbit hole. It's very similar because both of them are going to involve psychic ability. But Libra, this is already going to take, you don't have to surrender anything as much as go within and trust the subtle intuition that's letting you know that things are not as they seem. But it's with the stars, so it's going to be good. Scorpio rising, or beneficial, rather, subjectively for you. Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising. We have the Three of Cups. So this week is going to be fun. Okay, this week's going to be a lot of celebrating. It's going to be a lot of connecting with friends. It's going to be a lot of actually being happy and connecting with people who you could connect deeper emotionally with. But the major feature of this, Scorpio, is celebration. If you can see the festivity here, I think all week you'll be in a position to really enjoy how things are on the up and up. So that's definitely really positive. Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius rising. We have the Four of Pentacles. So this is going to be a week where you come into more money and more recognition. And that's honestly all about that. There's really nothing else I have to say. Sagittarius, you're just going to get more paid and more people are going to know about you because you're clearly getting more paid. And you're going to have a greater financial sense of stability. Capricorn moon. That is a Sun in Capricorn card, by the way. The Four of Pentacles. Capricorn moon, Capricorn rising. No surprise here. We have your card, the Devil card. Okay, another Capricorn card. So Capricorn, you're going to have to deal directly with psychological manipulation and people who directly go to your vices or who directly deal with your weak spots to manipulate you. Capricorn, this is your final showdown with the devil. And right under it was the moon card. The moon card and the devil card are dark psychic arts, black magic, and some of you are going to have to come to terms with the reality of this in the sense where you have let your earth kind of make you feel it doesn't exist. But you do have Saturn in your sign, and you do have Pluto in your sign, and you're going to have a direct confrontation with the devil that will really allow you to either be born again through you reclaiming sovereignty through it, or you just kind of being its, biatch. So be very mindful because this is not going to come through just you. The devil card is going to come through other people who want to tempt you out of your integrity. And as long as you don't let them do this, you'll gain a supreme power out of this trial. Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising. The card that we have for you is the Ace of Wands. Bingo, baby. Whenever we get an ace is like the best card you can get outside of a really dope major arcana card. So the Ace of Wands is not even a reset button. It's just a burst of positive viral energy, and you can use it to birth a whole new paradigm. It's definitely going to gone are my paradigm saying days. I got corrected by a Libra. And it's called and pronounced paradigm. And the Ace of Wands are definitely allowing you to spark forth greater energy, whether you want to have a new baby or whether you just need or want energy to just spark something new, it's going to be really positive for you. Pisces, Pisces moon, Pisces rising. The card that I have for you is the Five of Swords. So you're gonna have to deal with some self-righteous twats and just ignoramuses who refuse to see the quality of your magic because they're not ascended as you and their mind is scattered and they're projecting their scattered mind on you. So as you deal with trolls or personalities who with people who are just overall useless, even if they put on the guise that they're doing something useful with their lives, even though they're just really not, know that you don't have to entertain whatever kind of fuckery that they're trying to lord over you. You don't have to entertain any kind of negativity that they want. Because with the Five of Wands, some people are just going to snap at you, Pisces. Some people are going to try and really be argumentative with you, and you can fall into the trap of arguing back with them. But this is the Taurus season lesson. Most of those people don't even deserve your words. All right. It's kind of like if someone were to fight you, Pisces, tell them you don't deserve these hands. You don't even deserve for me to beat your ass right now. Like, I'm just going to pretend you don't exist because I don't need this type of negativity in my life. And they will egg you on. They'll be like, "Oh, you're a loser. Who says that type of stuff?" But don't really entertain that because it's totally meaningless. And it's really an inadvertent trap to, in a vampiric way, drain your energy. Okay. So before I do the super chat, I'm going to pull a card for everybody, whether you've donated or not. And the card that I have is the Judgment card, y'all. This is the week. This is the week, my friends. This is the week of awakening. This is the week where the skeletons come out the closet. This is the week where some of you who've been wanting to shift and awaken certain facets of your soul, it's definitely going to awaken. There'll be new seeds planted and there'll be new beginnings. If you found yourself reviewing your life, if you found yourself kind of going back in time and figuring out what's been going on, yes, Pluto, go figure, okay? Follow Pluto retrograde, because a lot of this awareness is going to help awaken you to a deeper part of your true purpose, especially if some of you have been a little bit unfocused or reevaluating what your true purpose is. Every day this week is going to bring, so very beautiful, okay? And yeah, thank you guys once again for staying tuned and tuning in live. And I am now going to do a little super chat. Woo! All right. Moon Bay, the energies for this week that we have are the Justice card. So the Justice card for you, Moonbay, is definitely speaking of a very important need to stay accountable, and a lot of effort on your part to be fair to others will protect you, so no one can say that you are being unfair out of integrity. Karma has your back, and there's going to be a balancing based due to this too. In other words, some people are going to be called out on their shit, and it's not going to be pretty, okay? And you're just going to be sipping tea. Like, Chad Taylor, looking forward to our Peace Talk too. We do have the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles is urging you to stay strong through this period and to really rid yourself of any feelings of inadequacy or lack of material. Once again, it's a temporary phase, and you want to embrace the Mercury and Taurus part of this card and really think of productive thoughts now that you're in a hungry state. You know what I mean? Like when Nas, or when like anyone who or like the dude from No, I forgot what that movie's called. But it's like someone who is so motivated when they don't have as much versus when they're super rich and they just lose passion. That kind of thing. Let us live. We have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is definitely speaking of great positivity this week. And you just want to maintain gratitude because you're going to find a much stronger connection to the home you live in, and it's going to bring you more happiness. Lisa Fisher, we have the Five of Swords. So what's coming up this week for you is twofold. Any kind of misunderstandings that you've had with certain people are going to be brought back up to the surface, and any disagreements, any kind of arguments, it's definitely going to come up, but the star card is talking about a positive resolution. It's like an argument that starts off bad can actually end off good because it opened up what people really felt. Fire star, thank you for the donation. The card I have for you is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is speaking of soulmate connections with a kindred soul from your past life or from your past that will bring up nostalgia. This is going to really bring comfort in your environment this week, and you can tap into great nostalgia. Nikita Davis, thank you for the generous donation. We have the Five of Swords for you and the Five of Cups, okay? I'm getting the sense that you're dealing with someone who is just very closed off to you, all right? Especially if you're trying to reach out to them, they're just inexplicably pushing you away, and they give off the sense that they hate you. But Nikita, they don't hate you. They're miserable inside, okay? They're miserable inside and they're lonely. They're very sad and they don't want you to see that, okay? Now, interestingly enough, under this, we have the Ten of Cups. So there is a seemingly positive resolution for this, but you don't want to be put off by what you see on the surface nor entertain any of that, okay? Nicole Razy, what's the haps on love? We do have the Hermit card. So in tandem with the Four of Wands, what this is saying, Nicole, is you're going to find yourself in a really awesome soulmate and love situation, but it's going to be super low key. I get the sense you might move in with a specialist or someone who is pretty good at what they do, but you just may let no one know that you're even in that type of relationship. And that's very much so wise and recommended. Nicole White, the card that I have for you is the King of Cups. This king this week could be a Scorpio, it could be a water sign. It's definitely someone very compassionate who's going to lend their heart to you so that you can really hear them out. I get the sense that there might have been a misunderstanding, or there's something that they've been wanting to say and they feel now that it's time for them to say it and not and they've been patient enough. So it's going to alert you to understanding something about them and your situation that you didn't before because you weren't sure about how he may have felt. Only you can be you. We have the High Priestess. That's how psychic you are. You took $2.22 and we got the number 2 card. So your intuition is not only on point, you're awakening new parts of your intuition, and you really do want to embrace how your subconscious and intuition definitely guide you and bless you. Joanna Lorenzana, we have the Two of Cups. So you'll definitely not only get the communication you seek, but there's going to be mutual love and understanding to where both of you connect at a very deep heart level, and it's going to strengthen your relationship. Mary Shaw, the channel message that I have for you is, even though people may, if you're dealing with anyone who kind of closes their heart to you, or you're dealing with people who are not open to certain ideas you're helping them see, but they're still staying around you, just stay consistent. The channel message I have for you is like you've been chipping away at a wall, you've been kind of working your way through certain people's hearts, and the seeds that you planted are breaking ground and you're ready to finally break past that wall. So it's not going to seem like that because I think they may even seem a lot more, closed off than usual, but whatever you're doing is working, maybe better than you're in a position to witness and experience right now. Okay. L rising. The channeled message that I have for you is that you are stepping in to a greater group of friends. One of your friends is going to introduce you to more friends over the span of this week, or you just may meet them on your own. And these are going to be long-term friends who you're able to speak this magic language with. And the connection is going to be a bit faded, but it's going to be super badass. All right. And it's definitely a sign that will let you know you're not only on the right path, but this development of your consciousness is really ready to go to the next level. And these friends are going to take you to places you could never go on your own. Alexa Jimenez, we have the Two of Cups. So if you're definitely involved in any relationship, your connection with your partner is definitely going to deepen this week. And I love how you said two, because we got the Two of Cups, all right? This is definitely going to be very dope. You're going to feel like this person really loves you in a way you might haven't been loved in a long time. Claire Smith, the next steps we have with the King of Wands in the world is to really focus on your independent goals. You're stepping into hold on. Yes, Alexa, he is your life partner. That's a total yes. Claire Smith, the cards we have with the King of Wands in the world is to really stay entrepreneurial and artistic with the vision that you have and the projects that you're working on, because with the world you're reaching a state of success, and anything that you're in a position to do to reach out to more professionals in your field, especially in any political positions to help advocate or to just even reach out to, will be key. And the King of Wands could actually be such an individual, as long as you're really just staying passionate and on top of what it is you're currently doing for yourself. The world card is going to happen to you, and it's really just going to bring a game player, an ace player who actually has a lot to put on your plate and to add to. Ein F, what will this week bring? Happy early birthday, first of all. And we have the Four of Pentacles. So this week is going to bring a lot of money, but it's also going to bring celebration. Could even have some surprise celebration, okay? So that's really, really awesome. A greater foundation in your finances and community, okay? Jazz Ravenel, we have the King of Cups. And we also have the Four of Cups. So I get the sense that perhaps someone might be reaching out to you, but you're just curving them, or you might just not really be interested. Let me see. Yeah, we even have the Star card here too. So I would be mindful if you really feel the contemplation of these feelings. Advise you shouldn't really talk to this person. That's cool. I want to make sure you're not necessarily ignoring someone who might actually be positive for your life. All right. You'll know though as the week progresses, because the Star card is indicating an opportunity to approach this from a more rejuvenated center. Larry Jacko, we have the Ace of Cups for you, and we also have the Fool. We have new adventures in love with this Venus and Gemini especially. So it's not just new adventures in love, but it's also a psychic breakthrough that will impart you into a much greater and higher happiness and new phase as well. This is probably going to be someone who opens their heart to you, who's very open-minded and very free, okay? Astro Dim 7, we have the Ace of Wands. Why he tripping though? I don't know. The Ace of Wands honestly is speaking of, you know, brand new energy blessing you this week. But in terms of the question, I would think he might be a bit too sexually active. The Ace of Wands speaks of viral energy. There could just be an energy imbalance. But outside of that, the Ace of Wands is talking about very positive energy and news sparking for you, and something new and passionate is going to bless you. Congrats on getting an ace. Nancy, someone in the past is coming back into my life. Who is it? What is the intention? Say yes to them. We do have the Three of Swords. So it could be someone who you might have had a betrayal with, or someone who might have hurt your heart, or someone who you might have separated from, right? If they're coming back into your life. But the intention here seems more like business. The Ace of Cups is saying to say yes to them, but I think it's interesting with the Four of Pentacles. I think it might not just be just business as much as it is kind of stabilizing a new ground. Regardless, the Ace of Cups does say to say yes, and it will even be met with rose-tinted glasses, all right? But I think it's interesting how it comes with that Three of Swords. I think they're back to kind of remedy a lot of that Three of Swords energy and to patch things up. Rainbow. So as far as any messages from your spirit guides want to let you know that they're going to bring instant upheaval. Like, they're going to put your life through a very instant transition and change. The long drawn process that will encompass really striking change in someone's life that can take 6 months, the universe is going to do to you, Rainbow, over 2 weeks, because you're advanced and you have faith in the flow of the universe. So your spirit guides know that when all hell breaks loose, you're going to be calm, because you know you're going to pick up on how things are shifting, and you can trust that. A 6 months worth of change is going to happen to you over the next 2 weeks. And it's going to just completely make stuff go crazy. So for Zach, the message that I have for Zach is to make sure that he is honoring more of his time than he does, because there are going to be people who try and waste his time by making it seem like they need him for stuff and help, but it's just a waste of time. So if possible, he should be a bit more of an asshole, or at least more selfish with the time he has. He'll feel it intuitively, right? But you just want to, yeah. I'm really picking up for you, Zach, that a lot of people are really going to, not even a lot of people, there's just going to be this subtle influence of people wanting your time. And don't fall for any guilt traps, because you're better off not giving them your time in advance now. It's a total waste of time. You're just going to be like, you needed me for that. And it's just really to knock you off balance, because you're really, what you're working on is actually really powerful. Whether it might be a project that you might not have gone on far, or you did, and just be mindful of the distractions trying to take you away from it, because it's for a reason. Lily 626, we have the Ace of Wands. Congratulations. There's a spark that's happening, but it also has come with the Five of Swords. So this is kind of interesting, because I feel like there could be some disagreements based off of something new that sparks up in your life. But thankfully, with the Six of Pentacles, this will be resolved because of how you mediate this. So it's almost like oil being found, and people fight over the oil, but you find a way to mediate who gets what. All right. That's just an example though. Connie, how's my Cappy feeling about me? We have the Magician. Your Cappy feels you're the one. Your Cappy feels you're the best soulmate connection ever, and you're their dream come true. So that's awesome. Jamison Ryan. Is the Virgo I've been dealing with my divine partner slash twin flame? We have the Ace of Pentacles. So it is a yes card, but it doesn't necessarily tell me as if whether this person is specifically your twin flame, okay, or your soulmate. The Ace of Pentacles will actually indicate that this Virgo is in your life to help you start a new healthy beginning. This is good in a romance reading because it'll speak of things starting off very practically. So as far as a yes or no, it's a yes, but it doesn't speak on him or her being your divine partner or twin flame. All right. It's really just more focused on anything practical or financial you're starting with them. But it's a good sign because it's saying that the foundation you're building will allow both of you to develop those qualities with each other. Belle, the card that we have for you is the King of Wands. One moment. Belle, the card we have for you is the King of Wands, but it also comes together with the Hierophant. So you're definitely going to be dealing with a passionate, not priest, someone who's passionate and very influential. A lot of their philosophy will definitely influence your ideology. And you want to do what you can to challenge their beliefs, but also embrace some of their beliefs in your life. I get the sense they'll be very uh, powerful and passionate influence in your life for this week, too. Very Leo energy, Taurus energy. Empress Daisy, we have the Death card. So this is definitely speaking of total transformation. It's with the Ace of Cups, so this is really a spiritual awakening happening this week with this transformation. The Healing Rose, we have the Knight of Swords. And advancing nature with this Gemini energy will allow you to multitask, but I get the sense you'll find yourself this week advancing a lot forward quickly on your goals. So be prepared to shift very quickly, okay? This could be the presence of a knight who encourages this. White Siafu or Saifu, we have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles, or rather Jessica, the Five of Pentacles is speaking of you dealing with a sense of alienation and also you kind of working through who values you. And the energy I'm getting is like the universe wants, it's very much so like Coming to America. It's like the movie with Eddie Murphy. The universe wants you to appear like you don't have as much so that you personally can see who likes you for you and who's not trying to take advantage of resources. Because after this is going to lead closer into June into a turnaround and a lot of this, lack being met with more abundance and positivity. Jasmine, the channeled message from your angels that I have is that you want to be open to seeing their influence occur through other people. And because you're very aware of energy, you want to be mindful of how you interact with people's spirit guides and you interact with the angels through other people. When you reach a certain initiation and when you're psychic enough, angels directly communicate to you through other people, and not many people can notice that. So you can know when someone is being themselves or when they're channeling this angelic energy. and they're going to start talking to you a lot more directly, giving you prompts and letting you know how to work on other people so that you can apply your gifts through conversation and heal people's hearts. Also, look forward to a new financial income stream because this is going to really fatten your pockets. All right, whatever new ideas you have, they're going to be very positive. K. Martin, we have the Seven of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Chariot card. So, Kay, this is saying whatever it is that you're currently defending and whatever it is that you've been hard at work on, you want to stand your ground because you're finally pushing through to where you're victorious, and you have spent a lot of time kind of standing your ground on an issue and stance and belief, and now it's time for you to experience reward. It's like finally, because you've stood up for yourself, you're gaining victory for that, and it's going to really allow you to gain greater structure and community communion, or rather a stronger foundation, yeah, with the collective. And it'll also apply for work too. All right. So in terms with your manager being an ass, you could actually confront your manager and you'll kind of gain results from this too. It's a great week to gain results for what you've been consistently working on. Goddess guidance. The card that we have for you is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is talking about new love, and it comes with the Nine of Cups. So this is amazing. It's like you're going to psychically break through, and this could be your wish come true. This could be a new lover who's everything you ever wanted, who opens up to you. So this is definitely going to be, this is honestly one of the best card combos you can get. It's super awesome, and congratulations. Okay, Miss Kiki, you want to be more direct with your telepathy. Find ways to experiment between implanting thoughts and ideas with people versus what they say, because this is going to help you practice when eventually you'll be in high intense situations where you kind of have to exercise this skill. Once again, it's a lot of your Cancer moon that's teaching you how to balance it with your air and Libra energy. So you can direct a lot of the mental energy with your Libra sun, but then feel into what's happening with your Cancer moon. Your Cancer moon is going renegade. I don't know what happened to you, Miss Kiki, but something or someone or some kind of ideology hurt your Cancer moon, and your Cancer moon is no more nice, compassionate. It's still nice, compassionate Cancer moon, but your Cancer moon's like, oh, hell no. You're not going to throw shade on me like that. Like, I'm going to teach y'all a lesson. So really follow that flow of your Cancer moon, because it knows what it's doing, and it's going to get its way. To the surprise of other people, it's going to get its way in the sense where other people are like, how did you alone do that? So it's going to be a little weird though, because it's not your air sign way, but it's going to be interesting. Spider fingers. We have the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. So once again, you're going to deal with confrontation. You're going to deal with some kind of hassle. Stand your ground. No matter what people are saying, no matter how people feel about you, you're in a position of advantage. They don't know what they're talking about, and you are in a position to put them in their place. So worry not about any competition. Such competition will actually strengthen you because you'll stand out very clearly. Alfreda Nwosu, thank you for the donation. We have the Four of Wands. Results for your hard work are here, and you're also going to gain a stronger foundation in your community and in your home place. Okay, it is totally not too late for super chat. And the Four of Wands is also speaking of very, very much happier vibes in your home, where you're a source of positivity for a lot of people. Shauna K. Clark. We have the King of Wands, and we also have the Two of Cups. So if you're single, a very exciting relationship with this king can develop. And if you're in a relationship, this is definitely going to allow your connection with this individual to deepen. So definitely look forward to a heart-to-heart connection here. All right. Sharon, found place today. Does it look like I get it or no? The Four of Pentacles will suggest that you hold this down. It's coming with the Hermit card. So I get the sense that you may not only just get it, but it's going to be a place that will help you attract more income and also tap more into yourself on your own. Under this, we even have the Ace of Cups. So it does seem to be a really good look. Honestly, the cards that I pulled are answering questions outside your question. So I think you'll get it, but the cards really are speaking more about just in general, your finances over this week being a lot more. And with this Hermit card, you making a very sparkling new connection. But I feel like you might not get it because I think you might find a better place. If you don't, you will. But if you do, make sure try to keep looking for another place just in case you find a better one. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit, or not from Spirit, but that's just what I'm feeling. Nika, how can I help? Ooh, this card wanted to come out. The Five of Swords. You might need to fuck shit up. No, you might need to add a little bit of friction here. Okay, I think if you help, you're gonna get in a fight. I think that's what these cards are saying. The cards are saying, do you want to help in this situation? Because if you help in this situation, it's gonna be that thing where you have good intentions, but then the next thing you know, you're throwing haymakers, Nika. And it's like, if you're ready to fight, you can help. Because people are coming with scattered minds in this situation, and you're not going to be dealing with sane people. So just keep that in mind. Okay, but you can help by addressing this and calling it out for what it is. Michael Tate, we have the Devil card. And I'm going to pull this with the Five of Pentacles. You want to be very mindful, Michael, about your habits and make sure you don't inadvertently let any obsessive behavior from yourself or others put you in a place of poverty. But what my intuition says is the devil is going to proverbially visit you and attempt to take your power. This is your opportunity to take your power back and to rise above. Okay. Jules Kane, word on agency meeting this week. Do you see that star card, brother? This is great. This is a card of fame, fortune, and especially in terms of agencies like this, a lot of positivity. The thing here, though, is with the Ten of Wands, the vibe I get here is a lot of success, but a lot of responsibility. And the star card could be an influence that clears you up from a lot of this work that might have been overwhelming for you. The Ten of Wands star is like working your ass off and then finally catching that big break. And we also have the Six of Pentacles. So with this agency meeting, I think someone in a high position is going to take a liking to you and be willing to help you out with something you need help with. Amaris Crespro, we have the Justice card. The Justice card is saying make sure you're on the right side of the law because karma has your side. But if you're not, if there's anywhere you don't have integrity, it's going to kind of work against you. So make sure before you work for karma, you're on the right side of karma, okay? OJC Astrology. We have the Queen of Pentacles and we have the Eight of Pentacles. And I want to put it like this because I get the sense where you really might have a dynamic where you're, the Queen of Pentacles definitely represents you, but this also could be someone who can help manage you. I got the sense like a Capricorn lady who will allow you to focus on the work you have to do. But I also sense more, this is both of you. Like, you're definitely going to be hard at work, but you're going to really be able to make more executive decisions at this level. And that Queen of Pentacles is definitely managing a lot of what the Eight of Pentacles is working towards. So that Eight of Pentacles knows that their money is being well spent and well managed once again. Ooh, good stuff, Michael Tate. Man, hell yeah, took that shit back, made the devil kneel. That's how you do it. All right. Arabella A, we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is definitely talking about great celebration and great happiness. If you're single as well, you can have a very fantastic reunion with someone that makes you feel like you are just totally compatible on all levels. Regardless, this will speak to a greater feeling of peace and well-being and a lot of abundance that you'll feel into throughout your whole family. KB Shang, please tell me about this new Cancer. We have the Emperor. So the Emperor is definitely speaking of this person being very in control of their environment. The only thing is they may be a bit rigid, especially in enforcing with you, but that might not be too much of a problem. The Emperor is really just going to speak of them being well put together, very, very much so masculine and very much so in order and have authority of their world, which is really cool. They're definitely grounded in themselves. Emily Long, feeling called to end a relationship. Am I making a move or a mistake? Good question. We have the Three of Cups and we have the World. Okay, so this doesn't really outright say to end the relationship or not, but what I take from these three cards, first of all, is that you're going to be connecting with friends that you're going to achieve success with. So especially if you just went out, if you get invited to a party or if you get invited to go out, whatever friends you connect with, you're going to achieve real success with these friends. And now, also, when it comes to ending this relationship, take your partner out to have fun and let that be the determiner. Take your partner out, not to really worry about any problems, not to talk about what's going wrong with the relationship. Just have fun with your partner. And if you can't have fun with them, then move on. Okay. If you can have fun with them and you still have that spark that's there, then it's worth working on. Okay. And I really do hope things work out between you two. Day, or you at least, gain the outcome you're looking for. Day, we have the Eight of Cups and we also have the Four of Wands. So right now, Day, you're walking away. You're having to distance yourself from that which doesn't only not serve you, but from that which doesn't acknowledge you. But what you're walking away from pales in comparison to the respect and the belonging and the amazingness that you're walking towards. So know whatever you're having to distance yourself from, you're only going towards something greater. Alexandria Johnson, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So you getting paid and there's lots of money. And then you get an Ace of Cups. So you getting lots of love and psychic breakthrough. And then we have the Queen of Swords. So you're just going to stand firm in your badassery as an intelligent queen and just get the bag over and over. We also have the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. So there could be a new creative venture that's definitely going to allow you to make the most of new awakened abilities, a sacred exchange of some sorts where you pull resources with someone who's creative while you also invest your intellect. Alexandria, you winning. That's what that means. You're winning. A lot of your hard work is going to pay off, and you have really not much other than yourself to thank. So congratulations. Keisha B, met another Scorpio. Is there a future there? Death, honey, run away. This Scorpio is going to get you addicted to them. Go away right now. They are dangerous. No, I'm just joking. The Death card could actually signify that this is speaking of transformation And the purpose of this Scorpio in your life is to help you transition. Sometimes when you're ready to transform, the universe sends a Scorpio to help you facilitate the process. And we have the Four of Wands. So this is probably going to be positive transformation. This could be a reunion too that connects in this certain sense. Silver water. We have the Strength card. The Strength card is urging you to really focus on what is passionate to you and what it is that really revs your heart, because this side of yourself is going to open up like never before, and you're going to find yourself being more confident than you've been in a while. SF, Chiron and Aries, Sun Scorpio. What can I expect? We have the Two of Wands. So you're making your ideas a reality, and you can expect the focus on your independent projects to really be successful. All you really want to do is focus on what you're already doing and put your time to it, because before you know it, you will have more power and fortune than you already started off with. Chaz, when will my finances improve? We have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is a Cancer card. So Sun in Cancer season by late June. We want to look at the beginning of July into mid-July. You'll see your finances improve before July and June, especially as soon as you really tap into your emotions and you come at peace with your feelings, because your empathy and your psychic ability to connect emotionally will remove blockages subconsciously. So in both terms, one of it means when you come more at peace with your feelings, and the second, of course, means this July. Oh, nice. Okay. Salt Gulp, what say you for me this week? We have the Five of Pentacles and the Tower. So you want to be very mindful of a certain drama and upheaval that can shake up your stability. If you found yourself alienated or lacking funds, know that this could turn around very quickly. So you want to be very mindful of your instincts and don't get caught up in a fog of negativity, because positivity in this dark hour can make or break things for you. Dark Raw Indigo. We have the Death card, but we also have the Five of Pentacles, and we also have the Three of Cups. So Dark Raw Indigo, it's the end of feeling lonely, it's the end of feeling alienated, and it's the end of you being in a position where you're dealing with a lack in your life, because you're going to step into more celebration, and this is going to connect you with friends who actually acknowledge and respect you. Domina Vantana, safe flights today. We have the Five of Cups. So this is really speaking of you coming to terms with certain disappointment. I think you're going to realize that something that you might have hoped for emotionally just isn't going to come to pass. But this isn't by far means a bad thing. This is just you kind of during this week kind of letting that go and making the necessary plans, because it's not going to really stop anything you're doing. You're still in a good position, but you're just this disappointment that you're feeling, Domina, is a lot like, I had hoped that someone could come on my level. And I don't want to make it sound all elitist, but it's like you wanted someone to see the light, and it's like you feel bad for them. So mourn how you need to, but then go back to being fabulous. All right. Brandy Trimber, the message we have for you is be mindful. A lot of what you may feel is altered states. A lot of what you might feel is a illusion is actually not an illusion. And your spirit guides are working through you through altered states of consciousness, theta and delta brainwave states as well, to kind of show you a different way of tapping into your emotions and into your feelings. So keep that in mind. Creative visualization will help you pull in a lot of your imaginative ability to bend your reality, all right, and break the laws of physics, which is an overrated field of science. I just said it. Walking Miracle. requesting your insights for the next 33 days or so. We have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is going to reveal very sacred wisdom to you so that you, much love, Domina, so that you not only open up greater bliss in your life, but you really practice your psychic muscle. All right. So this is just more about being in tune because your intuition is going to put you on some amazing knowledge. So for the next 33 days, it's really you getting in a relationship with this high priestess so you can understand it in a much more advanced way. Annie Valenzuela, what do I really need to hear at the moment? We have the death card. Your life is going through transformation, and this is to actually create greater financial abundance and foundation or stability for you. So even though certain things may be coming to an end, just go with that process because it's ultimately in your favor, just so that you can continue this metamorphosis. T. Evelyn, 72. T. Evelyn, 72. We have the Ace of Pentacles and we have the Star. This is one of the greatest omens you can ever get in the tarot for starting your own business. And this is saying whatever it is that you're starting, a new income stream, a gift is actually going to end up being a dream vocation and it's going to be successful. This is important to know when you're just starting it off and you might not have that promise. You want to have full hope because it's totally going to be great. Even if you don't know what I'm talking about now, then it's going to be something that comes in over this season to establish itself. RJ Frantic, we have the Chariot card for you. The Chariot card is saying definitely move forward with momentum on everything that you set up for yourself. So keep on doing what you're doing, keep pushing forward, keep staying motivated. Say no to immediate gratification because what you're working towards in the long term is assuredly going to bring you towards into victory. The Chariot card is a card about victory and about having control in your own way. So that's great being a Leo sun because this is definitely going to allow you to remind people who's boss. Theotis Ransom. We have the Five of Wands, but we also have the King of Wands. Theotis, you're totally this king here. It's like you're watching people compete over your approval. All right. So keep that in mind. What this means is you need ideas. You want people to brainstorm ideas with and for you. Get people to see and clash personalities because these differing viewpoints are going to help for projects you're doing. And in most cases, Farishta Z, what should I do about my defiant students? You got to beat these kids. Okay. Get your belt, get your slipper out, and risk your job spanking them. They will act right, and you may get fired, but it'll be totally worth it. I'll show you. We do have the Page of Pentacles. So interestingly enough, this is speaking of you standing your ground, okay? Now, honestly, with any defiant students, you are not necessarily going to be in a position to control all of them, but the Four of Pentacles is saying to stand your ground and maintain that powerful air of presence to where what they do does not deter the direction that you're taking things. The Four of Pentacles is so grounded, they're not going to focus on what this kid is doing or what that kid is doing. And it's just going to also encourage you to keep a tighter grasp on the intention and the control that you have. Much easier said than done. But embracing this Capricornian energy that's very strict and that's very to the point and not letting anyone kind of get away with anything will help. You may have to be a little bit more authoritarian, but that's what's going to help with the defiant students. Don't necessarily give them the impression that what they do even gets on your nerves, because that silent treatment to a degree will at least help, to a degree, because defiant students are, oh my God, defiant students, regardless. Russo Van Ruyen, we have the Five of Cups, but we also have the King of Wands. So I get the sense that this King of Wands either could be sad or you could be sad, but you don't know that there's a King of Wands who has your back. And they definitely, are here to help support you. So that's definitely both. You're definitely your heart and emotions are releasing in mourning. Your mind is totally cool, but your heart is just kind of transitioning. And this is going to help you gain gems and a feeling you didn't think you can attain. So even though it's going to be somewhat depressing, it's actually going to be good for you, okay? Because of the strength that you'll be able to gain from it. T. Evelyn, message for your sister. She is receptive. We have the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles, oh my gosh, T. Evelyn, we got the same message for you. All right, the Ace of Pentacles, except it's coming with the Five of Swords. So whereas before with the Star, we had great positivity, for your sister, we might have some friction here, but that should not deter at all right? Ooh. That shouldn't really deter at all. This is probably just someone who's contemplating. So any kind of delays in her experience of this is just temporary, and it won't necessarily stop the progress. The Ace of Pentacles is speaking of new income regardless. Jody, we have the King of Swords coming with the King of Cups, coming with the Four of Cups. So I get the sense that you might be contemplating how you feel about these two kings, or you might just kind of be keeping your distance from this individual. Both the King of Pentacles, or the King of Swords, and the King of Cups could be the same person. Regardless, compassion and objectivity is what is needed right now so that you can make the most of your situation. Thank you guys once again, as always, for tuning in. Once again, we have the Awakening card for Judgment, so definitely prepare for a greater sensation and experience of your supernatural power as it awakens. And until next week, y'all, peace.